How's it going, guys? MCF Got Milk here, and welcome back to another auto video. Again, this is my project car, and today we are going to be painting the back brake calipers. The main point is obviously to paint the brake calipers red. You can paint any color you want, but I'm going to paint them red. So what you're going to need is, again, I'm blessed to have a jack and jack stands. So I already have the jack up, and it's on the pumpkin already, where it's just being held there safely. And what's holding it mainly down are the jack stands on the frame. And here's the majority of the things that I'm going to be using in this video. So I actually went out recently and I got a impact gun for being able to take off lug nuts and everything else. So I'm happy to have this. Oh yeah, don't mind the drawing. It's a long story. I also have a drill connected to the drill bits that I used in the last video as well. I don't have some of them in the bag. There's no point in taking them all out when I'm just going to bring them there. I have tubble towels, heavy duty cleaning. It helps with the cleaning of everything. I'm also just going to do more cleaning as well, but roughly I'm just going to wipe a lot of things down. Red for the brake caliper, and it's brake caliper paint. If you're going to paint your brake calipers, make sure they're heat resistant. You do not want paint that's not heat resistant. A mask, because you don't want to breathe that in. I would recommend a 95 or a just a better ventilated mask, but this is the only mask I have, so if I die, I die. Then I have the lug nut attachments. There's like a little set that it's universal, got at Harbor Freight, that connects to the impact gun. That will help me take off my lug nuts. So for the majority, that's mostly what I'm going to be using in this video. Oh, and bags, so I can bag up everything and spray paint the calipers without getting overspray on everything. So without further ado, let's take off that back tire. Alright guys, new day. As you can see, I have it actually on the driveway. The driveway's not that bad of an incline, but the main point of it is I didn't do anything today when I showed it in the garage because of something really stupid. So as you can see, I bought my gun, and I told you I got the lugs for universal for the lug nuts, which are here. So I bought a 1/2 inch drive. This is what this is supposed to be, 1/2 inch. That's 1/2 inch drive. This does not fit on this, even though when I bought it, it said 1/2 inch drive. This is what I had to buy. So these now fit. Like these now fit actually onto the impact. Like for example, this one fits my lugs perfectly. As you can see, fits perfectly. So now I'm actually able to remove the tire. I mean, I could have done it the old-fashioned way with a tire iron, but I am not taking off the 2 back tires with a tire iron. That's a lot of work. So we're gonna be the American lazy way and use the impact gun. All right, weird angle. I don't have my big tripod out for the camera, just the little one. So next, we're gonna take our impact gun and we're gonna take off the lug nuts. See how easy it is with this thing? I recommend getting one of these. It makes the job so much easier. And again, I got one of these wheel lock security things. I don't trust using the impact gun with them because if you put them in, because as you can see, they're already kind of loose. As you can see, it's already loose. I'm afraid if I put this into this, it's gonna strip it and then get it stuck, and then I'm gonna be able to never get this off. So I just like getting my old-fashioned tire iron, even though I said I wouldn't use it. Obviously, not for all lug nuts. And I have to do it by hand. Find the one that fits right. It takes a little bit to figure that out. And I believe that this one fits it perfectly. Put it in, and then just turn. And just like that, it is off. And the easiest way to take off a tire that I have found was close to it. Put your feet underneath the tire like so, on both sides like this. Lift with your feet, pull towards you, and as you can see, it came off. Slowly back your feet away. Your feet have most of the weight, and then you can just guide it, and then put it down, and then boom, your tire's off. I always recommend, if you're working under your car at all, take your spare tires that you have off, put them under the car like that, because as you can see, if God forbid your jack stands fail, your jack fails, or your chocks fall, if they fail, your tires are going to act as catchers for you so you don't lose your life. And that's very important. All right, as you can see, very rusty, so we're gonna clean all this up. I work as an EMT on the ambulance, and hospitals, all kinds of different type of hospitals require you to wear certain different things. So for example, if you come in with a mask and like, oh no, you need to change your mask, or oh, you need an actual N95. They actually gave me an N95, and obviously we can't return them because COVID, and obviously you don't return a mask that you used. I was able to get an N95, thank God, because I wasn't able to find any of the industrial ones, but this will work fine for this. It's better than the surgical mask that I had on, So again, I will be using this because I do not want to breathe in all that stuff. So I wanted to apologize if my voice gets a little muffled. All right, I have it on. I don't know if you can really hear a difference, but I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a muffle. But as I did before with the rear diff, I am just going to be taking all that off, cleaning. Again, it's not wet, it's just like paint or something. But the main point of the video was to be painting these. These are the brake calipers. I'm actually going to be keeping them on. Again, like I said, this is my project car. I'm not going like full like car show detail, because again, if I wanted to, I could take off the bolts on the back and a bolt underneath, and I'm just not down for all that. So I'm just going to tape off everything, bag everything, and just like I did with the rear diff. Just giving you guys a nice heads up. All right, so we got our drill. We're going to put on our first attachment. Drill, first attachment, and we're just gonna go around and sand. Be careful of what's rubber, because there are rubber hoses back here. Like I said, be careful of rubber hoses, because like this is rubber here, this is not rubber, but just be careful you don't cut this, because this is a brake line and you do not want your brake line to be cut, because guess what that means? Brake line, you have no brakes. Now with it all de-rusted and cleaned up, as you can see all the words a lot better. It's a lot shinier, it's not rough, it's nice and smooth. So now I'm going to bring the hose over. I'm going to degrease, I'm going to clean as best as possible. I'm not going to go full all out. Enough for it to be tolerable and satisfied, and then let it dry. And then I'm gonna go do the other side as this dries, and then we're gonna paint. And as you can see, nice and clean. I just used soapy water, which is pretty much just dishwasher soap, like Dawn, and water, and then it's a degreaser, and honestly, it's like clean. Like my finger's already kind of dirty, but nothing else is getting on my finger at all. It's like, it clean, and I'm happy about it. It's actually nice and shiny. I also, like I said, sanded all this down, so now it can actually stick properly. And again, all clean, all nice and sanded as well. So I'm gonna let this sit for another like hour or so it fully dries, because again, I don't want any water underneath the paint, because I want it to actually come out nice and cool. And then in the meantime, I'm gonna mask tape everything, bag everything, make sure no paint gets anywhere I don't want it to go, especially like on the paint, the actual car paint itself. So without further ado, let's get into it. I just went around and I taped all the places that I don't want tape getting, and I bagged off where I don't also want overspray getting. So again, I'm just painting the caliper itself, and then everything that's open is going to be painted red for the most part. Again, I'm more just focused on this side here and this side here, because if you look at the front one here, you can see the brake caliper is a lot bigger, because most of your brakes happen in the front. But I love the way brakes look in the back, so we're just doing the back first, see how it turns out before I get to the bigger calipers, because I don't want the bigger calipers to look bad if it comes out bad. But again, that's not the case, but you never know, trial and error, so might as well use the small back ones and then get to the bigger noticeable front ones. We're gonna see how it turns out, and as you're gonna see, it's gonna come out good, but you never know. You always take as much precautions as possible. Got brake caliper paints specifically for caliper, and again, it is heat resistant. Again, drum and rotor chemical resistant. And you wanna make sure you read the instructions before you use it. High temperature brake caliper paint, and it's red. You can get blue, orange, black, pretty much any color you want. Make sure you shake it. And then we are going to do 2 light coats followed by 1 heavy wet coat. So quick, you have to make sure the cover of it, wait 10 minutes, another 10 minutes, and then a medium wet coat, and then we're gonna let it sit for another hour. But I'm gonna let it sit for more than an hour. I'm gonna let it sit probably for like 3 hours. Then I'm gonna put the wheel back on, and then we'll see how it looks. So without further ado, let's get spraying. Alright guys, first coat is on, and it looks pretty good already. That's just the first coat, and now it's time for a second light coat. Alright, I'd say that will be a good second light coat. And then last but not least, in 10 more minutes, we'll do an actual medium coat. But again, it says it's safe on brake calipers. As you can see, kind of get on the caliper, brake disc. So by the time we brake, that should all be chipped off, or I'll try to clean up what I can. It shouldn't be too bad, so let's get on to the third coat. Alright guys, I think that's our final third coat that we're gonna do. It looks pretty good. So again, we're gonna let it sit for an hour, and then we'll come out and review it, and then I'm gonna let it sit for an additional 2 hours. Then I'm gonna put the wheel on, we're gonna look at the result, and then I'm not gonna drive the car for about a day, so it actually like sits in. And again, I let this car like be in a tarp. The convertible top leaks here and on the other side, and that's the only problem with the car at the moment, because I'm not doing that because it's expensive, a couple thousand to get a new top. So we are just doing some nice cosmetics to make it look pretty. So like I said, I'm not gonna be driving it for about a day, and then we're gonna let it fully sit, and I'll see you guys in about an hour. It has been an hour, and it is dry to the touch. And it is very, very, very red, if I may say so. Camera does no justice on actually how well it actually looks. Then I have some few pops, like just old calipers. Dang. All right, so without further ado, I'm gonna take off the bags and the tape, and we're gonna see how it really looks. All right, with the bags off, I think it looks pretty good. Like I said, I did kind of get some there, and that's really it. There's some on the brake pad, but again, that's just the brake pads. There's nothing special about that. And then again, I taped up the rubber parts. You don't want to tape rubber, not the best. Then I taped up the spring here. But honestly, it looks pretty good. And now we're gonna go grab the tire, put the tire on, and see how it really looks. Unfortunately, it's the small caliper, like I said on the back, but honestly, it looks good. Look at that. From a distance, and then up close. It actually looks really good. All right, she's down, and she's ready to rock. They actually look really good. There's that side. Might as well show you the other side as well. Looking pretty spiffy. Start this bad boy up and get into the street. All right, she's on and running in direct sunlight. Look at that. That is perfect. It looks gorgeous. I cannot wait to get those big boys painted. But all right guys, thank you so much for watching. This actually turned out really good. And again, I'm not a mechanic. I'm not certified or anything. I'm just an average guy who loves cars, who just wants to do his own DIY. And honestly, it looks freaking good. So thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.